Hola, I'm teacher Nikki. Thanks so much for stopping by to take a look at my Spanish 1 curriculum. I'm so happy to have you here, and let's just jump right in. I've been using this curriculum for years, and I have primarily been using it online, but it's for either in person or online. You can print the materials or you can show them on your computer, on a projector. However you want to use it, it's very easy to use and it's all very detailed in terms of it being laying everything out there in order. For example, it says day 1, day 2, day 3. And so that way you don't really have to think about what you're supposed to be doing. You can just jump right into the lessons. And I even have some tutorials on my channel about how I teach some of the lessons. So if you ever wonder, oh, I wonder how Nikki uses this, it's all there for you. And one of the things that I love about this material is when I created it, I was able to take the time that I didn't necessarily have when I was teaching in person because now I work from home. I've been working from home since 2016, and I have a lot more time to create materials that I would have wanted when I was teaching in the public school system. If you know anything about teaching, you know that it takes a lot of time to lesson plan, to grade, to just think of ideas and actually actually teach and all of that. You're a lot busier with different tasks that you have to do as a teacher rather than spending so much time on creating curriculum activities and getting into that creative process that I'm sure a lot of teachers love. Some teachers might not, but unfortunately, we don't get that time. And so I have been able to take that time to create those, to really dig deep into creating what I would have loved to use with my own students. So every single unit has you know what, actually I'm just going to show you guys what's in the units. I'm going to show you where you can get it, and if you're not sure, like if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend the full year's worth of curriculum, it's a little more economical to get just the first unit if that's what you want to do. However, I have had people who they haven't even seen this video because it's not created, it wasn't created by the time they purchased it, but I've had people just jump in and buy the full year curriculum. They spend, it's like right now it was $150. I think it's bumping up to 175 now because that's the nice thing is that I'm going to be adding materials to it this year. So if you are watching it right now in 2022, this is August 2022. If you buy it now, you're going to get it at a better price. It's probably going to end up going to $200 because I'm going to be adding more units. I have unit 5.2, 6.1, and it goes all the way up to 7.2. So I have several more units I'm going to be adding. So that price is probably going to be going over $200 um, for the full year curriculum. So if you do know that you need a Spanish 1 curriculum and you want every single piece of that unit that goes with a full unit, like a test, homework, presentations to teach, activities. There's tons of activities, speaking, listening, reading, writing, and different games that goes with all the units. You want all of it done for you, then I would jump in now and get it because it's going to be at a better price than it will be by the end of the 2022 school year. I think I'm supposed to finish everything by either October or November. I think everything will be done by then. No later than December, I don't think. I have to double check. I know I gave myself some deadlines. So let's talk about who this curriculum is for. This curriculum is for either teachers in the classroom, teachers who teach online, or for homeschool parents. Any of you could use this. And what ages is it for? I primarily use this material for both middle school and high school age students. Could you use it with a 10-year-old? You could, but I think it is a better fit for middle and high school. And then, I mean, could you use it with adults? You could, but some of the materials are definitely more geared towards students in school. So whereas with adults, you'd probably want to gear it more towards career vocabulary, right? All right, and then now we're going to take a look inside the units so you can see what's inside all of them. Vámonos. The Spanish curriculum is available right here, and as of now, it's in my featured products, but if you don't see it there, you can just type in Spanish curriculum at the top, and it should come up in the search if you don't see it in the featured. But right now you can get the bundle for once the first semester and the second semester separately, and you can also get the full year all in one available at a discounted price. And like I said, if you just want to get the first unit just to test it out, it's the Lección Preliminar. Preliminar. So I'm just, if you just spell it like that, and this is it. So let me show you in my Google Drive. By the way, all of this is on Google Drive. So if you have, you would need Gmail to make sure that you can get these materials. This is all of the curriculum for Spanish 1. You can see how much there is. There's a lot in here, so you can dig really deep into Spanish. And the very first one, Lección Preliminar, it goes into the alphabet, Spanish greetings and introductions, weather, there's listening activities, and there's a test review packet. Everything you need is in each unit. There's boom cards to practice if you don't know boom cards. Let me show you. Boom cards are a fun way for the students to practice. So this one's for the alphabet. So this is the phonetic sound A, B, C, D, E. And then you click submit. So the kids get a link like this um, when you download the whole unit, or if you get the whole curriculum, they'll have boom cards in every single unit. Um, and then they would type A, B, so that they're really memorizing what each letter sounds like. Se. And every unit has different boom cards depending on what the grammar is or what the vocabulary is. So let's go back here. Let me show you the alphabets. So for the alphabet, they learn the phonetic sound. They'll learn important information about the alphabet. And in this section, we practice numbers 0 through 10. And you can, if you do know how to speak Spanish, and if you know the Spanish alphabet, you can have them practice spelling out of order. So I'll say U, N, O, and then they have to use 0 through 10. They have to use 0 through 10 as a word bank. So they are um, so they're hearing the words out of context, they're hearing them out of order, but then they still have this as a word bank to kind of guide them. So it's kind of scaffolded or broken down in order. Another one I start with is O, che, o, or you could say O, se, h, o. And then maybe I'll move to like cinco, se, y, n, se, o. And if they struggle with that, I'll kind of help them out and say, okay, it ends with O. You hear N in there. N sounds like N. So then they can get those clues and start to recognize those different context clues and how to make those connections if you are able to do that. There's days of the week in here, matching, and more spelling practice if you want, asking questions about days of the week. This is the Spanish greetings and introductions. And then let me show you guys too, like the weather. A lot of the times, most of the vocabulary that I teach, there's pictures to go with them. So what you can do with the pictures, let me find another unit. So they can print out these pages and you could cut up the pictures like this and match them to the Spanish. So that way they get that visual with the vocabulary, and the visuals really help with remembering vocabulary. So you can see each unit kind of gets a little bit bigger. As you get into unit 1, there's practice days, grammar days, review days, listening and writing, Jeopardy game. This game is more for in-person teaching. If you have a big screen where you can project. Matamoskas is like a fly swatter game, so you would say a word and they have to swat it on the projector, whichever word that you're telling them they have to hit. Um, but every other activity can be done either by printing the materials, or if you do a presentation and then the kids can see the presentation that way too, on a laptop, on a computer, whatever it may be. You can actually do Matamoskas and Jeopardy on Zoom as well. So I do this all the time with my students online, and they have a lot of fun with it. So for Matamoskas, I would just have them use the Zoom pencil tool, and if there's a couple kids in the class, then whoever circles it first would get the point. So you can do Matamoskas kind of different ways. Like online, I found more, I just have them circle the word rather than compete. Whereas in person, there's two people who go up to the screen with a fly swatter, and whoever hits the word first is the one who would get the point. So you could play it however you want to play it. You could do it with points or just have them practice identifying the word. And with Jeopardy, I have them choose the numbers. So I'll put it in presentation mode, and when I click on the number, it goes to that question. And if they know how to answer it, they get the point. If they don't know how to answer it, I'll pass it to the next person. So it all depends too if you are doing this lesson one-on-one. If you're like a homeschool parent and you just have one student, you could still play these games one-on-one too, because I've done that with tutoring as well. So yeah, so and then there's vocabulary practice ideas. Sorting activity is in each unit, so they can practice with the images and matching them with the vocab. It's jam-packed full of everything you would need, or everything you do need to teach Spanish for ages 10 through 16. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.